My first job in show business, and pretty much my first job in life, actually, I was a staff writer on the long-running hit sitcom Cheers, which is where I learned about setups and jokes. Cheers had a long-running joke staple we called the norm entrance, which was essentially the already simple joke structure whittled to a Zen kind of purity. The format of a norm entrance was always the same, and if you were a fan of the show, you probably know it by heart. Devoted barfly Norm Peterson, played indelibly by the late George Wendt. Well, he would walk into the bar, shout a cheery "afternoon, everybody" to the crowd, and they would respond with a "Norm" in unison. And then someone behind the bar, Woody Harrelson, Ted Danson, the late, great Nicholas Colasanto, whoever was behind the bar for that scene, would offer up the greeting setup. Something like, "What's going on, Mr. Peterson?" Or "What are you up to, Norm?" Or "What's the good word, Norm?" And George Wendt would stride across the bar to take a seat at his usual spot, downstage, stage left, on a bar stool, and time his response perfectly so that he'd be seated by the time the laughs started. "I'd rather talk about what's going in, Mr. Peterson," he'd say, gesturing for a beer and waiting for the laughs to subside. "Cross the stage, quick upstage turn. My ideal weight if I was 11 feet tall. Sit, wait for the laugh. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm wearing milk-bone underwear. Sit, sigh, take his first sip." Actually, norm entrances, they were a pain in the ass to write. Something about the simplicity of the form, maybe. And if you were working on a script, you do almost anything to avoid having to write one. And if you were a writer out of favor, maybe your last script came in weak, or maybe you're just having trouble fitting in, you were sometimes assigned to go off and write as many norm entrances as you could. It was like punishment, like torture. But the secret to a successful norm entrance was that it almost didn't really matter what you wrote, because George Wendt could sell it. With his slow, lumbering walk, his beaten-down expression, his genius for timing,